I want to spend a few moments talking about maladaptive patterns of behavior. Through our life experiences, we all work towards coping with stress and anxiety. There are habits that we may engage in, activities that we may engage in that actually help to work to reduce our stress and our anxiety. However, today, talking about the pandemic and COVID-19, we're finding increasing levels of stress, which is to be expected and reasonable in a period of time of such unknown and uncertainty. However, what often happens for many of us, particularly as we're speaking about the pandemic, is that we might find that those strategies that we typically engage in that work for us now become maladaptive in use. For instance, emotional eating. Many of us are familiar with that term, emotional eating, and we often will use food as a way to create some degree of comfort. However, during this uncertain time, we may find ourselves eating in ways that are really unhealthy for us. The types of food that we're choosing, the amount of food that we're eating, and the ways in which and the times in which that we're eating. And so we might find that what typically helps us in this period of uncertainty is really working against us. Shopping is another one, spending money. You know, all of us, or many of us, may enjoy shopping and going out and shopping, and we can't do that now, but we may find ourselves, getting on the internet, QVC, and spending more money because having things and new things, expecting new things coming in we may believe is a way of coping with our increasing level of anxiety and stress. However, in the long term, that is maladaptive in that it may be spending more money than we really ought to be spending, again, in this period of uncertainty. Sex is another one. While sex may be a normal part of our life experience, some of us may use sexuality and the expression of our sexuality in ways that become maladaptive, i.e. focusing on it too much, which may mean that we're disengaging from typical life experience, normal family experience, and focusing on that as a strategy to reduce our stress. Maladaptive in that format. Finally, the internet. Many of us, because of the technology, has been so helpful and so supportive, particularly as we take a look at virtual education for our children in the home, connecting with the news media in order to stay abreast of all that's changing in the world around us. That can be a good thing. However, when we become fixated on that internet access, when we become focused on that's the only place that we're getting information, and again, departing from our balance in our lives is when things become maladaptive. Now, what are the things that we can do to cope effectively? First and foremost is remember what is balance in our lives. Identify with this pandemic that it is overwhelming, that it is unknown, and that it is uncertain as to when it will come to an end. So how do I manage my life in balance? New territory, but that may require some new strategies. Part of that strategy is to think about what works for me and what isn't working for me, and measuring that balance in our lives. We've already talked about opportunities for increased exercise and recreation. Whether, again, in a world of quarantine and restriction, in your own backyard, in your own front yard, walking around your neighborhood, obviously recognizing those social distancing strategies that are being recommended. Ways to cope effectively, increasing our interaction with others within the home, i.e. games that we might be playing, reading, the kinds of strategies that help to work towards reducing of our stress, but also, again, primarily in balance. Nothing in excess, everything in moderation. I'm Dr. Phil Toll, and remember, together we'll get through this.